Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Shirt man! All right! Episode 285 of Shirt Show! We're talking with Dewey from Light Thriller in Oregon! Let's go! What?
Hey guys, if you're new here, my name is Dylan. I am the owner of Upstate Merch and the host of the Shirt Show podcast. My guest today was Dewey. He is the host of another podcast called Pure Pleasure. It is mostly bands and creatives. It's an awesome podcast. If you get a chance to check it out, you should. He also is starting a screen printing shop called Light Thriller. This was a super fun episode. I feel like me and Dewey had a lot in common. We talked about growing up the way we did, and we talked about a ton of random things. It was super fun. And then we got into like the creative of starting a screen printing shop and all of that. So if you're into just like fun stories, this is definitely an episode for you. If you like episodes like this, I definitely recommend checking out our new newsletter. It comes out once a week. You can check it out at shirtshowofficial.com/newsletter. I write the thing, from my kitchen table on Sundays. It's got a little bit about me and what's going on, and it's got a recap of last week's episode. It's got industry news from Printing United, and it's got a bunch of different articles from people we love and trust in our industry. And then there's a bunch of other things getting added in too. So it's really cool. Something you get once a week. You should definitely check it out if you can. It would mean a lot to me. And give me your feedback on it if you can. That would be awesome. No matter where you are listening to the show, watching it, whatever you're doing, the best way you can support this show is by sharing it with your friends. If you can hit the thumbs up and subscribe on YouTube, that would mean the world to me. So just take 2 seconds right now, hit it real quick. Just real quick. It would be awesome. Also, if you haven't yet, go check out shirtshowofficial.com. We've been doing a ton of work on it. There's a bunch of shop hacks. We're trying to get every shop hack we've ever had on the show added to it. So there's a whole article about the shop hack. There's actually timestamps in the episode of when you can check it out. A lot of new things to come on the site. So make sure you go check out shirtshowofficial.com. This show would not be possible without our amazing partners. Frank. It all starts with a screen. Whether it's new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. To find out more, go to graphicscreenfashion.com, greatfuckingscreens.com, or ffffrank.com. Cleaning screens is no fun, but EasyWay makes it way more funner. Their line of eco-friendly chemicals and equipment make reclaiming screens a whole lot easier. Right now is a great time to check them out because they have a new monthly giveaway where you have a chance to win $250 in product credit. Head over to easyway.com/giveaway to enter today. GraphX is your source for production-ready digital art and remote art staffing. They can help any size shop from just starting out to enterprise level. Looking to add a hero to your art department? Check them out at graphxsource.com. SNS is your premier partner in the apparel industry. With one website, one purchase order, 14 distribution centers, and over 100 beloved brands, you can streamline your ordering and hit free freight faster than ever. SNS has 1 to 2 day shipping with the lowest error rate in the industry. Be sure to order your blanks from ssactivewear.com. Today's episode is brought to you by Comfort Colors. I know you haven't listened to it yet, but we talk about Comfort Colors a lot. It's my favorite shirt of all time. We're talking about the shirt I have on right now, how it's so super worn in, and I love it. And I was just talking to Christina before I got into this episode, and she was looking and she was like, oh, that shirt with a hole in the armpit? Yeah, there's a hole in the armpit. And then I was like, not the other side, picked it up, hole in the armpit. I don't care. I will wear this shirt forever. I will wear it in public. It is amazing. It's my favorite fitting shirt. And that's the whole point. The whole point is to print a shirt, to wear it until the thing fucking falls off your body. So I just want to say thank you, Gildan, American Apparel, Comfort Colors, all of your umbrella brands. I love this shirt. So thank you. For over 90 years, Stahls has been the leading choice among apparel decorators for their heat transfer materials, heat press equipment, and custom transfer services. Not only do they offer some of the best products, but they are always looking to innovate and educate our industry on all things heat press. Head over to stahls.com to order your transfers and check them out on YouTube to be taught a thing or two. Bryanet has always been that solid go-to resource for screen printers. Not only are their supplies super reliable, but their network of education and support is next level. And I want to say too, later in this episode, you're going to find out screenprinting.com and Bryanet have done a lot for Dewey. They're close by to him. So that's nice and convenient too. But just the support that he's getting and the phone calls and like the help with everything is top notch. So thank you, Ryanette, for just being that kind of person, that kind of people. Appreciate you. If you're looking to join a community of like-minded screen printers, embroiderers, not digitizers, I'm not going to say that, but digital people, go to shirtshowofficial.com/discord. The link is in the YouTube description too. It's on our link tree on Instagram. It's a community of just all of us. And everybody there is looking out for each other. It is not a Facebook group where people are trolls and all these other things. Everybody's super helpful. So if you want to join that community, that would be great. And we'd love to have you. I just want to say thank you for the people who always reach out and are giving me feedback on these episodes. If you could comment on YouTube, that's great. I love hearing from you guys just to know that you enjoy what's happening, or if you have comments about things, if there's people that you want to see on this show. I appreciate you. Thank you. And I hope you enjoy this episode. What is up, dude?
How are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing better now. I just had to scramble to get ready for you.
I like making people scramble. I feel good about myself.
Yeah, it makes you feel like we had to rush around at your will.
Yeah, exactly. My beck and call.
Yeah,
it's nice being a guest for a change.
Oh, dude, it's the best. I wanted to ask you this going right into this. So you have a podcast. You've had a podcast for a long time, so we can get into that. But it's not something that I ever saw myself doing or dove into or researched or whatever. It's just literally been trial and error for the last 5-ish, almost 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you, but every time, regardless of who it is or whatever, I get that fuck, my brain is going to be mush after this. I'm constantly what people don't realize is when they're talking, you're thinking of the next thing to say. So it's double brain power. So like you said, when you get asked to be on somebody else's podcast, you're instantly oh, fuck, that's what this is like. You get to you just shut your brain off and wait for the next question or next thing. You don't have to be constantly running it 100%.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely a load off. But I was telling Christina the way I do my show, I don't prep at all. I don't do any notes. I don't do any research. So it's just I don't even think about that. I'm just so in the moment that it's kind of the only time I'm in the moment is when I'm recording, because it's just a focus. I'm in a soundproof room. There's lights in my face. I don't do video anymore, but I still get in that zone, and that's the only time with my ADHD and stuff. It's the only time I'm in the moment. Every other time I'm thinking about what's happening next, what's happening in an hour, what's coming next. It's nice. So, I just like the medium of podcasting a lot. And, I think it's one of the most genuine things we have still, that we can keep that way. It's going to get clouded with a bunch of shit, but if we keep doing it the right way, I think it's going to be just fine.
Yeah, I think it's great in the sense of I can have genuine conversation with people, because I don't really come up with a list of questions. I just kind of give myself maybe a couple bullets. About you specifically, it was I'd go through and be Christina does the pre-interview where it's okay, this is what he wants to talk about, this is what he doesn't want to talk about, this is maybe some notes. I'll give myself a couple bullets because there's things I don't want to miss, because what'll happen is we'll get into a conversation, talk for 3 hours, and then at the end I'm fuck, I forgot to mention that he does this for a living or something, you know what I mean? And it's I don't want to miss that. But the rest of it is just genuine conversation of okay, this is what this is. But I personally hate dead air, as far as well, I don't know what to say next, and we're just going to sit here. It's not we're at a bar and I can just look at the bar or take a drink or do this or look around and then be oh yeah, did you whatever? We're staring at each other on this, and it's all right, what do we talk about next? But how did you said you just kind of found Shirt Show or discovered it because you were getting into screen printing? How did that play out?
Yeah. Well, usually there's a podcast about everything. So I've always been into screen printing since I was probably early 20s, maybe 20 or so. I'm 43 now. But it's always interested me, and that's when we started kind of messing with it back then. And so anything that interests me, I'll Google it right on a podcast app or something like that. And when I started getting into screen printing for real, I was like, man, I bet you there's some shows out there on this. And I Google it or whatever in the podcast app, and I started digging through it and found your show, and I was like, this looks legit. And so I put it on and loved it. I listen to it every week now, and I start digging back through old episodes. Like I'll watch a YouTube video of a screen printer. I'm like, I bet you they've been on Shirt Show, and I'll go back and bam, there it is, and I'll check it out. And yeah, it's been great. Like it's I don't have a super long commute during the day, so it takes me, a couple days to get through an episode. Unless I'm printing, then I'll have it on usually down there, and then I can get through an episode pretty quick. But it's great stuff, dude. Like, and especially someone who's new to it, like me. There's so many tips in there, and just hearing the struggles that I'm starting to deal with as well. Like everyone, it's everyone's story. It's not the same, but there's tent poles through the whole thing that match. It's the same things, and all that humor starts to resonate with me more, because it's like, oh yeah, just had that happen or this happened, so yeah, it's pretty simple, organic way to discover it. But it was one of the first shows that came up. The logo was rad and jumped out. And then I forget what the first episode I listened to was, but I just went down there. I just saved a bunch of them of people that I recognized, and then just started from there. So
yeah, it's funny. Like, I never got into, you always, it's like kind of figure out what something is after a little while. And it's kind of like when we first started doing this, it was like me and Andy just having these phone calls all the time of like, hey, this is what's going on with me. This is whatever. And a lot of it was like, laughing or crying or fucking, like trying to figure out what this thing is. And we would talk sometimes for hours, and it was like, we should just record this and like see. Because we felt like, okay, there's got to be other printers that are going through the same thing. And then that's kind of what has resonated with people about the show to a degree, is it's like, there's a lot of episodes where it's not even about technicalness of screen printing at all. It's just like, hey, this is what happened to me. This is how I got into this thing. This is whatever. And then most of the feedback I get from people all the time is like, I was in a shit spot. I thought my business was going under. I thought I was doing this horribly wrong, and it made me not motivated to do anymore. And I just kind of was in this hole. And then I discovered your podcast, or I listened to this episode, and I realized like, that's how it is for everybody. Like the shit isn't just me. Like it's just what it is. And then they were like, okay, cool. That motivated me instantly to be like, I'm just going to keep doing this. And then, so I don't know. It's super cool in that sense of like, I'm just on here learning from you or venting or meeting a new person, but also like other people get to listen to this conversation and be like, oh yeah, like I can relate to that. They're like a fly on the wall kind of. So it's kind of cool.
Exactly, dude. It's all it is a fly on the wall. It's people connecting through other people connecting. It's, for me, talking to my heroes all the time, like a lot of people write me and are just like, hey, like I would not be able to talk to this person. And it felt like I was just sitting there talking to this person, like that, almost like a conduit. Like Matt Pinfield used to say from MTV, like you're a conduit to the fan. And it's kind of like your duty. And it kind of feels cool to be able to put yourself on the chopping block like that and see what's going to happen, and let other people listen and have these genuine conversations where it is for entertainment, but it's not that way when you're doing it. But to be able to do it without thinking about it is the skill, I think. And that's the trade of podcasting. So, it's like fucking loading a shirt. Like it takes forever to figure that out. But once you do, it just keeps happening over and over again. It's like playing guitar. Once your wrist loosens up, then you've made, like you're there now. Like it's that rite of passage. That's like, seems so simple, but it's definitely hard. And so I agree, dude. Like and that's why I love the show. It's for everybody. Like my son listens to it in the truck. My son's 14 and he doesn't care about shirts, but he doesn't fall asleep either. Like he listens. Like it's
that's good.
Real people's stories. Like I'll put on some podcasts and he'll be asleep in 5 minutes. But it's good. And you guys are doing good stuff. I'm stoked
thanks,
to be
dude.
here. So
yeah. Well, I want to get into a little bit about you. From what we've kind of had a conversation online, and like what Christina has told me is kind of, you've been all over the place by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
And you started, you grew up in Alaska.
Yes. I did. I grew up on a small island in Alaska called Petersburg, in Southeast Alaska, down that little, they call it the Panhandle. And I grew up there till I was 11. And then that was a badass place to grow up. I mean, I had not a care in the world. It was awesome. I just ride my bike till it got dark. And I met Ronald Reagan. I've met 2 presidents that I wouldn't vote for.
You can't go from fucking, I live in Alaska, I rode my bike around and I met Ronald Reagan. They don't meet.
Yeah,
like that's an ADHD statement right there.
They do. Like, I met him in my mind.
You met him on the side of the road, and he was
That's
like, "Hey,
exactly
boy."
where I met him. That's exactly where I met him. If you want that story, I'll give it to you. But it's
oh fuck yeah, you can't mention that. All right.
So 2 presidents I've met that I wouldn't vote for: Donald Trump and Ronald Reagan. And so. Like I said, I was riding my bike, till it got dark, me and my friend Jack, and, there's docks everywhere. And so you just cruise and there was no internet. This was in the 80s.
I grew up the same way. Yeah.
And so Reagan wasn't president anymore, but he was on a cruise up through Alaska with his wife and staff, and his head of Social Security, the Secret Service, got a really bad tooth infection. And so they stopped in Petersburg so we could see a dentist. And all I saw was cops everywhere. There's like 5 cop cars in the whole island, but they were all over the place. And we're like, what is going on here? We thought it was something had happened, but then we saw this giant ship. And we're like, oh, it must be a movie star in our heads. But yes, it was a movie star.
Well, when you're a kid at that age on a bike too, you're not like, oh, I'll stay back. You're like, nah, fuck it, I got to get as close as humanly possible.
Exactly. Now I'm 6'5", 330 pounds. Back then I was not. So we find where the cops are going, and it's down on the side of Main Street in downtown Petersburg in Lee's Clothing. And there's all these people around the door. So I tuck through their legs, like a kid in the movies. And I pop out the other side, and this super tall dude with a cowboy hat comes out and looks down at me, and he says, "Hey, young man," and reaches out to shake my hand. And I shook his hand, and he asked if I wanted an autograph. I said, absolutely. So his guy gave him a little card. He signed it. I met his wife, Nancy. And then we're on our way, and we're like, crazy. So I ride back up the hill to where my house is. My mom's in the garden. This is like a movie set, setup, but it's genuinely true. But
you had no idea who it was when you got the autograph. You're just like, some dude in a cowboy hat has to be famous, and gave me a signature. Yeah, they didn't advertise he was coming to town. It was an emergency. Right. And he's just killing time. He went in and bought a hat and some jeans. And I can hand my mom thing. Mom, I just met a movie star. And she's like, what? Because it's Petersburg, Alaska. Like, no, you didn't, you idiot. And I hand her the card, and she looks at it, and she looks at me, and she looks down at the card, and she's like, you know who that is? No. I was like, that was the president of the United States. I'm like, what? And so fast forward. So guy comes in, gets his tooth taken care of temporarily, because you always have to come back. So they fixed him up so he wasn't in pain. And he got back to the dentist on the way back down or whatever. And I had my dentist appointment, talked to our dentist about it. He let him know what happened. And my mom was like, oh, Dewey met Ronald Reagan. And he's like, well, that's crazy. So when the Secret Service guy comes back to get his tooth fixed on the way home, the dentist is telling him the story of how one of his little clients met Ronald Reagan. So when he's done, the Secret Service guy's like, hey, this would be cool. Give him one of these to go with the signature. And it's a pair of presidential cufflinks. And he gave it to my dentist to give it to me next time he saw me. So the next time he sees me, he presents me with those, and he said, throw these. And I didn't care. I was like, oh, what the hell? That's like the smallest town story of like the dentist knew you and got you cufflinks.
Yeah. So those are sitting in a scrapbook somewhere in my mom's house. The signature and that. But yeah, that was what small town, Alaska was. And that was before anything musically happened. It was just, that was growing up. That was my beginning childhood till I was 11, sledding the post office hill in the winter and catching frogs. And, before anything got to you, I really cherished those years. But then my dad, lost his job, had to move up to the mainland in Wasilla. And so we moved up there when I was 11, and I was there till I was 18. That's where I discovered, playing music. my dad had a radio show in Petersburg on Thursday nights. He volunteered at a radio station, a local station, of course. And I was too young, but I wanted to go with him. So he'd take me, but I couldn't be in the room when he was recording. So I could watch him outside the glass and listen to records in the record room. And Petersburg, Alaska record room, I mean, it's like Wilson Phillips and Tom Petty. And like, so I was listening to all this pop music, and that started to get my sense of melody going. And then, you know, years later, when I discovered like Metallica and Green Day and Weezer, and like, I could play this stuff, you know, like, and that's when I started wanting to play music. But now I am recording this in a local radio station studio, like my dad used to, because my friend owns the studio, and I use it as my podcast studio since COVID.
That's awesome.
And so I'm literally doing the same thing he did.
What was your dad? You said he said he was volunteering, but did he want to do? I mean, obviously he wanted to do that, but what was his profession? Like, why was he volunteering at a radio thing?
He always loved music, but he was a grocery store manager. So he managed the local, and it was called the Trading Union up in Petersburg. He was a store manager for Walmart, a store manager for QFC, like all these like Kroger stores. That was his profession. He was also a meat cutter. He started as a meat cutter, and yeah, it was the radio station. He just loved music. He had a big record collection, and for them, Alaska was an adventure. They weren't born there. Like, we went up there for this adventure because he got a job. And so he just embedded himself in the Rotary and the Chamber of Commerce and the radio station. And he's like, I could do this. And he had a voice like mine. And he did, he called it the Big John Show, and people loved it. Every Friday at 3, it would air. He recorded it all in one shot, no editing. And that's exactly what I do with the podcast. I don't edit anything. I just get on and go. And that's mainly because that's how I learned. Like, that's how I saw it done. And it just felt the most natural. So that was the Petersburg chapter. But
when did you guys end up leaving Alaska?
Well, I turned 8. So started doing band stuff, learning guitar, starting bands. And we wanted to tour.
What was the scene like in Alaska?
The scene was awesome in Alaska. And when I say awesome, I don't mean huge, just awesome. Like, everyone
there's a difference for
it.
people who haven't done music. There's a big difference between awesome and huge. Like, we had one here that was amazing, but it was like my local city, whatever. It was like, it didn't go anywhere else. It was just here. Same kids every Friday, no matter what bands were playing or whatever it was. And that's what we mean by it just being awesome. And like, everyone was all interconnected and everything else.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Like, I've got my first week in middle school in Wasilla. I got detention for missing being late to 2 classes. I had never been to a school like that before, where you have periods, and I couldn't find my classes. I missed 2 of them, like getting there late. They put me in a after school detention thing, and there was this kid in the back causing a ruckus. And I looked back, I'm like, who the fuck is this kid? And my hair's all parted and combed over. My mom helped button my shirt, like
super proper.
Super proper. He's just got like a flannel shirt on, unbuttoned, like a fucking corn shirt on or something. And and his name is Joe. And afterwards, I was like, talking to him, like, dude, what is your deal? And he's like, hey, you live close to me. Do you think I could come over and maybe get a ride to football practice? Because his mom was kind of not around much. So I'm like, yeah, sure, come on over. Like, let's hang out. Totally innocent. He brings over the first 2 Green Day records, the Blue Album by Weezer, and puts those on. He's like, check this music out, Operation Ivy. And I was like, dude, like, he's like, I play guitar a little bit. Would you want to learn how to play guitar? And I was like, hell yeah, I want to learn how to play guitar. So long story short, he taught me to play guitar. We used to hang out at his mom's trailer, and she'd be out with her boyfriend for days at a time. So we had a practice space, and his brother, my other best friend, was playing drums, and we started a band. And we all worked at Little Caesars Pizza after that, and we practiced there. We stored our gear there. We played shows there.
At Little Caesars?
We would close it down. It was a strip mall with windows all around the front. Cops never stopped us. We'd have people in there playing full-on shows. Drive to Anchorage. We had to book our own shows because the club that was there, Gigs, closed down.
It's like the famous Denny's show, but you were at Little Caesars.
So much earlier. Yeah. Open it up, Denny's or whatever. What's up, Denny's?
What the fuck is up, Denny's?
What the fuck is up, Denny's? It was Little Caesars. And, people have beer in the to-go cups with the lid and the straw in it. We'd have a bunch of pizzas. We got guns drawn on us thinking we were robbing the place when we were trying to load out to play a show. Like face down on the street with a gun in the back of our head from the cops. And we're like, they call the manager, like, these guys are robbing your store. What are they taking? Drums, guitars. It's a Little Caesars, you jackass.
Right.
I let them practice there. And we actually drove our equipment to Anchorage in the Little Caesars van for shows. But that's the thing. Like, you wanted to play a show, you did it your damn self. Like, you booked a rec center or a school.
BFW
halls, played at lunchtime at a high school, played the prom, got kicked out for 3 songs. It was nuts, dude. Like, it taught us to be, like everyone in Alaska, self-sufficient in every way. Yeah, and if you can't find someone to do it yourself. That has been my whole life ever since. But Same. we started getting popular up there, and we're like, man, we would like to tour. But I don't want to fly to the lower 48 every time we want to tour. When we turn 18, let's move down to Portland or Seattle. At the time, that was the year 2000, and Portland was cheaper. And we had friends there. So we moved down with a couple friends, stayed with them for a month till we got a house. And then we ended up starting doing local shows and got signed and started touring. And the rest is history, dude. But that's why we came down. My parents and brother stayed in Alaska until 2005 and then moved down to Seattle. So I don't have any family up there anymore. But yeah, it's like a huge another chapter that just kind of flew by. But yeah, so we accomplished that dream. We did that, and then that band
kind of fizzled out, or
yeah, it was called Anatomy of a Ghost, and we signed we signed to Rise Records back when they were going to close the doors. We were the first record to recoup for them, and then they blew up huge and became a whole scene label. We immediately got bought by Fearless Records, signed to there, put that record out, and yeah, didn't last very long, 2 years maybe, and then broke up. And then Zach and John from Anatomy started Portugal the Man, and then called me about a year later to come play some shows with them. And then I ended up staying on for a few years with them in that band. And a lot of people know what happened to that band now. They're still going and doing great. But yeah, we accomplished that goal, that dream. Like, we did it. Like, we were living like we were musicians. That was our job. Yeah. It was amazing. It was hard and awful, but beautiful and wonderful at the same time. And then when that chapter ended, I got an offer to join a band that was bigger at the time called Poison the Well. And I took it, but I took it the night before leaving for Europe with Portugal the Man for a month and a half. And I was like, guys, I got to do this tour. Tickets are bought. But when I get back, I'll move to Florida. We'll do this thing. And in the meantime, they got a big tour, and a buddy of theirs went out with them and took that spot. I was already replaced in Portugal when I got back. So I got back with no job, and I was like, all right, got to do something different now. Right. I was kind of sick of touring. So I went into retail management, and then from there into commercial plumbing, which I do now. And now I'm running work for big buildings. So
I want to get your opinion on this, because sure. I kind of talked about it. Me and Christina went to Warped Tour in Orlando this weekend, and there was a couple bands there. I won't necessarily name any names unless you don't give a shit, but
I don't give a shit.
There's certain bands where I don't know, like, I respect them from the business aspect, because, like, I'm a business owner of, like, I know what you're doing, and I know the way you're moving and the reason why you're dressing the way you're dressing, or your songs sound the way they sound, because now you're a business, not necessarily a band who's doing it for fun, and you all got families and you got to feed your kids and, like, everything else. And it was just like certain bands got up to play that were like main stage bands that I was just like everything seems like very commercial, and like you're wearing the like sweat wristbands and your hair's a certain way and you're wearing a shirt that's a certain way and everything. And I'm like, I get it. You want to ride this train as long as humanly possible, but you're also trying to be as commercial as possible so that you can get on like a Blink-182 tour or something where you're going to make a bunch of money and you can like do the next step and the next step and whatever. And it's funny because there's certain bands that I see that are like that I just like the music loving part of me kind of writes that band off, but I also respect that band in the sense of being a business owner. And it's like, what else do you do? You know what I mean? Like you're in that band. That's all you've known since you were like 16, 17 years old. And now you're fucking 40. And it's like this second wave of like emo, whatever Midwest stuff is coming along where you're like, oh, everyone likes this again. It's kind of like the Yellow Card story where basically they broke up and they whatever. And then, what the fuck is that tour that they do in Vegas? They're the When We Were Young festival or whatever came out. And then it was like all these bands blew up again and everyone was like, oh, I like this stuff again. And then they got like a second wind. And it was like Yellow Card came out and kind of like super impressed me with like how well they played. They just went out and had fun. They had like a whole stage. Everything was great. And then another band came on like Story of the Year. And I was just like, ugh, like it was just so commercial. And it was like, the dude was just dressed a certain way. And I was like, fuck, dude, you're like 45. Like, stop it. Like, that's not how you don't cut your sleeves off your shirts normally. Like, it's not what it is.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I wanted to see what you thought about that whole thing. It's like, I get it the respect of one way, but it's like also kind of ruins it for me because your lyrics and the way what you're writing about is just so that it gets played to the masses, not necessarily whatever. Bowling for Soup came out and they kind of hinted at it a little bit because they were on tour with like Simple Plan or something. And it's like, they're like, oh, we just, we're now at the Warped Tour, we can swear and say whatever we want to say. But obviously they couldn't when they were out with Simple Plan because it's like family friendly shows and like all these kids are coming out and moms and whatever. And it's like, I get it. You're trying to sell tickets, but it ruins it for me. It's like, you're trying to be a fucking punk band. And it's like, you're not, you're making radio rock. It's like the Green Day story of like, everything's just for sale. And it's like, I'll just go listen to Dookie and like, whatever. And like, after those albums, I'll just forget you exist.
Dude,
like,
what the fuck is up, moms? Yeah, dude. My music, my ethos on music in general has changed quite a bit in my 40s. Like, there's bands, that I would write off back in the day that I just like, I would totally go see now. And I've been to some weird shows for me lately. But then like going back nostalgia, like I went and saw Bush for the first time and they kicked absolute ass. And I was like, this is great. Like I never got to see them. It was my wife's first record she bought with her own money was 16 Stone. And, but, friends in the industry, I haven't paid for a show in like 17 years, 15 years, something like that. And that's usually how I'll get around to shows is I'll call a friend or something works with the band or whatever. And it's just kind of this adventure of like, how can I make this work? And it just kind of took a life of its own. So like, a friend of mine plays in Bush and I was like, hey, I've never seen the band. Like, let's do it. And it was amazing. But like, I've been to like Breaking Benjamin shows, which I would never go to or listen to, but I went to see like the opener or whatever. But then I'm sitting there, I'm like, these guys are doing their thing. All bands are is a t-shirt company, which is funny that we do this now because that's all it is. You're literally a t-shirt company. A record label sells paper and plastic. That's all they sell. The band provides an experience, but you're just selling t-shirts. Like that's a huge part of it. And so the more people that, I can bob my head to that beat. They're going to buy a shirt. They're going to buy a record. They're going to buy a hat. They're going to buy 12 shirts, I think these days with people not buying records, that's kind of what you're relegated to is appealing to as many people as possible. Yeah. And being that stadium band, Green Day, they wanted to be that, when they signed to Reprise or whatever, and Larry who's a friend of mine from Lookout Records was like, what do you want to do? And they're like, we want to be the biggest band in the world. And he said, well, go do that. And that's a true story. And he did that and they did that. So they got exactly what they wanted. which is rad. You know, some of the older fans are like, oh, I'm not big on the new stuff. But when you go see him play live, like I went to the Providence Park here in Portland for the Dookie, you know, anniversary tour. I cried watching him play Dookie, and those songs off Dookie they never played live. Getting to see them live doing that was unreal. But then it's like seeing all the people buying T-shirts and like, you know.
Yeah, but you cried at the Dookie album. You didn't cry at American Idiot or some shit like that.
I did not cry at American Idiot. I cried at the dude. Check this out. Okay, you want to talk names for a minute? This is funny. This is another quick story. So Chino from Deftones is a friend of mine, and through the podcast, he found me through the podcast. I'd never met him in my life. I'd been a fan since the 90s, and he hit me up on Instagram, and basically just it was an account that had his name, and it said, "I live in Portland. I need to talk to you." No punctuation, no nothing. I'm like, this is bullshit. This is a bot. So I screenshot it, sent a picture to a friend of mine we're mutual friends with him. And I was like, "Is this his Instagram?" They're like, "Yep." So I said, "Okay, dude, send me your number then." And so he sends me his number. I text that to my friend and like, "Is this real?" They're like, "Yep." It's like, no fucking way. Call him up. It's right when COVID hit. Like, you know, they're heading to Australia. He wanted to do the podcast. He's like, "I don't remember how I found your show, but I listen every week. And I really awesome. Think we need to talk to you." So this became this really great friendship over the last couple of years. And, so I'm at Green. So my friend Jason plays guitar in Green Day. He's the like alternate guitar player, the guy off in the corner,
the guy who stands behind the cabinet.
No, he's in front, but he's none of the pictures or anything. There's another guy that stands behind the cabinet. He's the one with like the frizzy hair, and he plays in that band Pinhead Gunpowder with Billy Joe. But I hit him up. I was like, "Hey, I would love to see this show," and so he got me friends and family viewing area wristbands for my wife and I. And Smashing Pumpkins were on that tour. And so I'm in the friends and family area. It's just me and my wife and like a couple other people I didn't recognize. And I turn around and Chino shows up. I'm like, "Dude, what the hell are you doing here?" So he met my wife and all the wives met each other. And we're standing there and it's Chino and his wife, me and my wife. And then I turn over and it's Seth Green, the actor, and Breckin Meyer from Road Trip. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, this is something I say in my life a lot. What the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah.
That was the lineup in the friends and family corral, and everyone's staring, and everyone that sees me there sees Chino there. And then I'm getting texts all night, "Dude, where are you?" Because they know Chino's there. I'm like, fuck off. Like, I'm not going to do this.
Right.
So Chino's like, "I got to take off for a second." His wife's like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, well, you know, I figured he was going to go to the bathroom." So he's gone for like, I don't know, 15 minutes or so. I'm like, "Oh, it's been a while." And then Billy Corgan is like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Chino from the Deftones." And he comes out on stage and does Jelly Belly with the Pumpkins.
That's so
breaks
awesome.
The internet, like all the videos from that performance. And then he comes back all fucking sweaty. and "Dude, I thought you were taking his shit." And he's like, "Well, I didn't want to. It was a surprise. I didn't want to." He didn't even tell his wife. She just all of a sudden like pulled her phone up when she saw it. And I guess Billy had called a week earlier and wanted to set it up or something. Maybe you pick the song and come up and do it. Anyway,
I've always loved the Deftones, and it was one of those bands like growing up that was like, oh, like this, I love their sound. I love that, you know, they have a specific sound and whatever. And me and Bill, I think it was probably, I don't know, it was less than a year ago now. I don't remember what it was. They did the tour they just did, and like we flew to Orlando to see them play. And it was like one of the best shows I've ever been to. It was like the Mars Volta who played before them was just god awful. And then Deftones came up and I was like, all right, cool. Like this is where it's at. But yeah, it just fucking ruled. And that was the thing too, is like as a screen printer and as a business owner, their merch was like perfect. Like everything about it was flawless. Like they were printed on Comfort Colors, which is my favorite shirt. They weren't, you know, they had other bands were there and had their merch too. And they were all in like, you know, cheaper shirts and whatever. But like they even had like giveaway bags to put the merch in when you bought it. They had like everything was like perfect. And I was like, this makes me love them 10 times more just because like that's dialed too. and it was just like, holy fuck. Like, I'm so glad I got to go see them. But
absolutely,
it was great. It was fantastic.
Their management is are wonderful people, and they take such good care of them. And Frank Maddox, who does all their design work, album covers, t-shirts, all that stuff, that's all Frank, like, and Chino, and they've worked together forever. And Frank's rad. And I actually flew out to the MSG show on that tour, and that's kind of how I got into screen printing, actually, in a roundabout way, but that trip. But I saw opening night because Chino's like, you're coming, opening night. Yeah. And I was like, actually, I'm going to fly to New York. Can I get into New York too? He's like, of course. That was a funny story because he when the singer of the band tells you yes, the singer of the band doesn't handle anything. So yeah, right. He says you're cool.
He wants you to come, but like doesn't call anybody to make sure that happens.
Exactly. I was halfway between Portland and New York when I got the text from him saying, oh wait, yeah, you're good for tomorrow. And so I text management from the plane. And I was like, hey, Taryn, I need to make sure I'm good for, New York. I'm flying there now. And I didn't get a text till the next morning. She's like, oh my God, I was getting in the shower. I totally forgot to text you back. Yeah, you're totally fine. We get to MSG. They can't find our passes. And I'm like, oh my God, you're kidding me. And then another gal comes over and she's like, oh, because my first name's John. And she's like, oh, it's under Dewey. Okay, here you go. And it's like guests of Chino Moreno and all the passes are in there and stuff, the after show party and stuff. And what an experience, dude. MSG, I'd never been to MSG.
Oh, it's amazing.
But just being in there for that, oh my God, it was so good. And just the pinnacle of their career, and just seeing the smile on his face, and then afterwards just giving him a hug and saying, see you at home. Because that was like one of the last, I was thinking Jersey was the last night of that run. It was like 2 days later. And I love seeing people succeed like that to a level that's, just unmatched like that. They were always the band's band. And you'd have their backstage would be the most ridiculous group of amazing musicians that were playing arenas, and they wouldn't play arenas because they weren't big enough. And now TikTok just blew them up without any new music yet. And then the record came out. But anyways, that's kind of how the screen printing thing started.
So how did the screen printing part come out of that then?
Well, so my buddy Dan,
and I'm happy to go all over the place, by the way. Like, there's no, like, let's just fucking go. It's fine.
I just don't, I don't want to, podcaster to podcaster.
Exactly,
I don't want to monopolize your podcast.
The more you talk, the more I can just do this and listen. So I'm
perfect.
Cool with it. Just go ahead.
So, my buddy Dan, who he is the president of Ecovision Records up there in Albany. And, I was actually signed to Ecovision with the podcast for a few years during COVID. Like a band. It was kind of a cool experience.
How does that work, by the way? Why would they want to?
Well, so they got to keep people busy. No one's touring. No one's doing anything. And he's like, well, why don't I help you out? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you've always wanted to be on Ecovision. And Anatomy of a Ghost turned Ecovision down and signed with Fearless, which some I regret ever since. But he's like, you've always wanted to be on Ecovision. Why don't we work the podcast like a band? It's a music podcast. We have connections here, there, and everywhere, and we have a staff. You'd have a whole staff at your disposal because they need work.
They could throw you bands to be on the podcast.
They could do that. They could make connections. Alan Ashcraft, their art director, did a bunch of my rebranding.
I know Alan. I've worked with him for a long time.
Oh, fuck
great
yeah,
designer.
Dude. Yeah. He did all my rebranding. So the show, the way it looks now, is all like I would give him an idea or like a vibe, and he would make it happen. And yeah, everything from the online stuff, social media, all that stuff. It was just working me like a band. It gave the staff something to do. And they just opened before COVID a Portland office, and I got to use that as my podcast studio for years. So it's just this cool collaboration, and Dan and I would collaborate on all these things. And here's what I'm thinking. Here's the guests I'm thinking. Here's who I got. Here's who I didn't. What do you think of this? It's cool having a partner for a while.
Yeah.
He's one of my best friends. And I was like, hey man, do you want to come out to Portland and see the first 2 Deftones shows? I can get us in. And he's like, I'm gonna be in Australia with Hot Water Music, but why don't you come to New York and we'll go to MSG? And I was like, on the way. So I'm flying out there, and we get there, and Dan's wearing this Bad Brains shirt, like this long sleeve Bad Brains shirt. And I'm like, that is a fucking cool shirt. there's no way that's a vintage shirt though. Like that's a new shirt. Where the fuck did you get that? He's like, it's a bootleg. And I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, I know what a bootleg is music wise, but it's like, no, it's just, shirts go up here and there and, you snag them off, whatever. And 5-6 weeks later, they show up in your mail. It's like Christmas. And I was like, that's fucking cool. And I've always been interested. So the first like Anatomy of a Ghost shirts and Portugal Man shirts, we did ourselves, like with a piece of cardboard in a basement and some speedball ink and a shitty ass screen, some shitty emulsion. And some of them go on eBay for like $350.
Right.
They're all misprinted and like off center and down by the fucking seam. On your side belly, like a cougar in a John's vest with a rifle and ducks, and then Anatomy of a Ghost in Western font, all jumbled up.
Yeah.
On your side belly. What the
and you know
fuck?
what's funny too is like we're both like bigger dudes, and it's like when a shirt gets fucking printed crooked on us, it's more just like it goes this way, and it's like it's like chest to side gut. You know what I mean? And then when you fucking sit down or when you stand up, it's like you look down at yourself and you're already disappointed. But you look down and then you can see your whole print go this way. Mm-hmm. And it's like, all right, well, fucking whatever.
And there's fingerprints on it and shit. Like, it was so bad. But I was like, dude, we're doing this ourselves, like, in a basement. And so ever since then, my wife, I talk to about her all the time. Like, the barrier of entry to getting gear to do that in any kind of meaningful way seemed out of reach for me for a long time, where I was like, I just don't want to put up a couple grand and do this yet. But I always wanted to. I'm always just admiring that stuff. And I loved it. And I would design shirts for the bands I was in on Photoshop. I learned how to use Photoshop, and this was way back, but I would just, design all this stuff. And every once in a while it got printed, but, then I stopped forever. But anyways, I see that shirt. I'm like, dude. So Dan and I have been on a weight loss journey for the last year and a half. He's lost like 200 pounds. I've lost 104.
Damn,
and I could never wear band shirts anymore. Like I would just wear the big 2X Carhartt shirts that were tall, because I have a long torso, which I don't know if you do, but like I
100%
fucking hate it. I have a 32-inch inseam.
I'm 30 and I'm 6'2".
Dude,
I'm all torso.
I get made fun of about this so hard at work.
Me too. You know what's the best for? Well, it's funny now we can commiserate on this. Is like me and Christina we'll go out to dinner or something, and people always like, "Oh, high top," and I'm like, "Nope," because I'm that little kid swinging my fucking toes, like because I have such short legs.
Yes.
Like, give me a booth or a chair. Do not put me in a fucking high top. I look like a child,
dude. 100%.
Yeah, I wear 30 length jean.
God damn
and
it.
I'm 6'2". So that's why I love Comfort Color, because it actually fits my body. Like it's still, if I pick my arms up, like it's like belly comes out, but it's like, it's so impossible for me to find a shirt that's like fits because I want it to fit here. I want it to fit around the neck. I want it to fit nicer on my body, but like, I just want that, but it to be like 3 inches longer.
Yeah.
And like, nobody sells that. It's always just like, oh, you wanted a tall? Well, let's give you fucking sleeves that come halfway down your forearm or something. And it's like, I don't want that. I just want, but then some people are like, oh, we got this urban shirt or some shit. And it's like this, but then it's like 20 inches longer. And it's like, I don't need that either. Like, I just give me that extra inch or two when I do this and my fucking pouch hangs out. Like, that's all I'm looking for.
The pouch. Carried that pouch for many years, my friend.
It's my baby. I tell my children it just isn't quite fully born.
Like
it's
your brother
not fully
or
ready
sister.
Yet.
I'm not sure which.
Terrence is still in there.
Terrence. Yeah, dude. I feel your pain, and this all ties together. Everything you're saying ties together to this because I don't even remember where I was at, but Comfort Colors. So the shirt was on Comfort Color. Oh, that's what it was. So lose all this weight. So I still am just wearing Carhartt everything because I work construction. It makes sense. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't even care about band shirts or fucking advertising. I'm just going to wear this because I'm a man now. I'm an adult.
You're actually justifying wearing Carhartt too. Like you're working. You're not just a person wearing Carhartt.
Yeah. I sell my shit that I've worked to the bone for so much money to some douche hipster who wants to impress his girlfriend with something he didn't wear in.
Right.
My old bibs, all that stuff. I sell it all the time. I'll just wear through it, and here's a shitty jacket,
$10,000 on it.
Yeah. So Dan's like, dude, I've got like, I'm a 1X now because of the weight loss. He's like, I've got a shitload of 2X shirts. I have 2, I think, that might fit you at the house. So tonight, let's go over to the house and try them on. I was like, dude, I can't wear a 2X like in a regular shirt. I can wear a 2X in Carhartt. It's a size bigger usually. He's like, just try them on. You'd be surprised. You just don't feel that way yet. So I go in the bath. He's got this badass 9 Inch Nails bootleg and a Rollins Band bootleg, which I fucking love the Rollins Band shirts. We say it's our love language, the Rollins Band bootlegs, but they're comfort colors. And I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Like my merch for the podcast was printed on comfort colors. I still didn't know what that meant. He's like, no, they're really good. So I try them on and they fit like a dream. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm wearing a 2X shirt. I'm wearing a 9 Inch Nails shirt. I've never had a 9 Inch Nails shirt in my life. So I'm getting all fired up about
what is
shirts.
This magical shirt?
I'm getting fired up about shirts and the fact that I'm wearing them and I can reach my arms up and minimal pooch.
Right. That's you're gonna have a little bit. Yeah.
We're talking paper thin. Like you could stick a dollar bill in there just like that and it would sit just fine. But so then I'm learning, like, so then I go to I'm getting indoctrinated in shirts on this trip. It was supposed to be Deftones trip. I go to Merch Now, who Ecovision owns. Ecovision's warehouse is their warehouse. So dude from Merch Now is like, hey, see if there's anything you want, and I was like, I might find a shirt or two. I found like 2 boxes worth of shirts and I'm trying all this shit on and I see how their system goes. And I'm like, this is fucking crazy. Like the amount of merch they're printing, and I get to see that operation firsthand. And I'm like, this is fucking cool. So I'm just like immersed in this, and I'm on the plane on the way back and I was like, dude, I could do this.
Yeah.
Like I could do that. And Dan and I start talking about it. Like, dude, yeah, like I got this idea for this and this for this. I get indoctrinated into comfort colors. That's that whole scene. And so I started just making designs of things I thought were funny, or like tribute shirts. I did a tribute shirt for my friend Travis from Coheed. This is a Stever believer on it. It sold a shitload of them. Kim Thale from Soundgarden, another hero of mine, people were going crazy for him and like, this is fucking cool. Yeah. And I started doing them DTF because I didn't know how to screen print. I bought a heat press off Marketplace, started sending my designs off to the heattransfers.com or whatever, and have them send them to me. And I started like messing around with that. And I'm like, man, like with the heat press, with the Teflon sheet, like the texturizing sheet, it feels pretty good. And people started buying them and liking them.
The thing is DTF works really great for bootlegs too, because the whole thing now with DTF is people are finding ways to distress it more or add a halftone through the whole thing, or to have as much negative space in it. And it works perfect for these bootlegs because the trashier you fucking make it look, the better it is. And that's exactly what you want to do to DTF anyway. So it's like do the whole thing. We've made a bunch of them here. Like I have a few that are mine. Like I have a bunch of Lord of the Rings ones I made. I made like a Balrog shirt that looks like a Danzig shirt. Yes. Bill's made like a Journey shirt with like the spaceship and like all this stuff. And it's just like, we're just like, now we're thinking of things like, oh, I would love this. The other day we were coming back to the casino, and for some reason we have this tradition now where we have to play like the first Godsmack album on repeat the entire way back just to get through it. And now we're like, dude, we want that shirt so bad. Like I want to unironically like wear that shirt
and everything.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Dude. And speaking of amazing shows, my dad and brother are like super into like that scene or whatever. And they took me to a Godsmack show when I was really young, when that album first came out. And it was a fucking awesome show. I was like, holy shit. And like they came out with like dueling drums and like everything, because Sully plays drums too. And it was like this whole thing. So I've always had that in the back of my mind of like this. To me, it was like hanging out with my dad and brother. That's what that album makes me feel like. And like recently, now it's a tradition when we go to the casino, we have to listen to that fucking album on the way home.
That's fucking awesome.
Me and Bill were just like, oh, I have to make that shirt. And I texted him, someone at Warped Tour had that shirt on. And I was like, I texted to Bill, he's like, we have to make that. Like, and we probably will. We'll just, upscale it with a vectorizer thing, and then we'll make a DTF and we'll print our own and whatever.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So anyway, continue your story.
Well, the first time I saw Deftones was Deftones, System of a Down, Godsmack, and Puddle of Mud. Like
such a
complete shit and complete amazing at the same time, 50-50. And they played like opposite of each other, so you had to sit through shit to get to the good stuff twice. But are you a Glassjaw fan?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Their album Worship and Tribute, Shannon from Godsmack played drums on that record because their drummer couldn't handle it. So like it was a little bit of lore there. But anyway, but I was doing that. So I was pulling out I'd like, what color shirt this is going to go on? Black. Okay. I'd pull out everything that was black and then halftone the rest. Yeah. It came out really good. I was like, this is incredibly easy. I'm not 100% sold on, like, I was still felt weird about it because it was like, it does feel still like a transfer. It's not quality. Did you do
a post press on it or just press it at once?
And I used a texturizing Teflon sheet, which gave it that feel that it was in the fibers, but it still has that little bit of like,
it has that
film
slick
to it.
Yeah.
And with the adhesive, it looks like it almost looks like the underbase is sticking out a little bit, which it isn't technically, but like that's what it looks like, is the print's just a little off, but people were liking them. So I did that. And so I made enough doing that to be able to buy my first press, which this gets into the screen printing side of things. The culture and the environment is one of the most welcoming, willing to help kind of things I've ever seen. So like, I live in Portland, Oregon. I live literally 10 minutes from Ryanet. I get on Craigslist. I'm looking for some gear, and dude's selling all of his gear. He's selling a prototype exposure unit. He's selling a Riley Hopkins Jr. 250 or whatever with micro registration, single station, 4-color, a bunch of ink. He's selling a dip tank. And what else?
Basically a kit, right? For the most part.
Basically, but it's Sebastian from Ryanet. I didn't know this. So a guy's supposed to come down from Seattle and buy this gear. And I was like, dude, I'll give you, he wanted $1,000 for it. I was like, I'll give you $1,500 today if you sell it to me. He's like, dude, I got to wait for this guy to come down. Guy comes down. He texts me at like 3 p.m. the next day. The guy showed up in a Nissan Pathfinder. There's no way he's taking any of this back to Seattle. He's going to go get a bigger truck. If you can be here in an hour, I'll sell it to you now. And I get up there and I load my truck up. It's pouring down rain. Like,
first of all, that's way worse.
Yeah.
You were like, all right, he has integrity. He's going to wait for this guy he already told to come down. And then it's like, he's here in a Pathfinder. Come buy it. Like, yeah. Like the guy already drove. It should have just been like, hey, don't worry about it.
The guy took off because he realized it's too much. Like he could fit maybe the dip tank and a couple of the arms, the print arms, but like, anyways, I get up there and he's like, oh yeah, I work for Ryanet. I do sales. And I was like, oh, so you probably got a good deal on all this. He's like, yeah, that's why I have the prototype exposure unit. It's super nice. They just couldn't get it cheap enough for retail. So, it's like a 1 of 1 on that one, which is kind of rad. And then, so then I've got a setup and I'm like, now I got to figure out how to do this. So I just start watching a bunch of videos and talking to a bunch of people. Josh from Ryanet reached out to me and him and I got on FaceTime to work on some stuff.
Yeah, Josh is great.
He's so great. He was great on the Shirt Show too. And the RC print shop here in Portland, they are unreal. They'll spend an hour and a half with me in the store, walking me through different inks. They'll take me in the back and show me how this works. Oh, you should try this instead of this. I was doing some camo stuff. They taught me about the blocker base and all that stuff. Like they take so much time with you. And they want to. It's so cool. Right. And so it just made me fall in love with it even more, to where maybe someday I can help someone the same way. But everyone's just like, yeah, you need any help, just call me. Like, you know. So that bootleg Bad Brain shirt in turn fucked my whole life up to where now I'm doing this on top of the podcast, on top of full-time employment and wife and kids, to where my basement is now a fully functioning screen printing shop from start to finish. I do everything myself. I don't make the screens, but I everything. I go buy a regular screen at RC. I've got probably, 75 of them now, maybe more, but like figured out the emulsion, figured out all these things. I went through 2 gallons of emulsion before I got my screens to hold. Now I get a perfect 7 every time. Like I know I have everything written down. I know what inks I like, what inks I don't like. I've fucked up, 50 fucking shirts before I realized I fucked them all up. Like, and for me, that's huge because it's a small shop. but then orders start coming in from different places wanting, like, for their landscape company or for their construction deal or this. And I'm like, this is literally just word of mouth. Like, you
isn't
could
it crazy
money.
isn't it crazy how it all correlates to like just being in a band? Like, it's the same thing, like learning an instrument, and it's like, all right, I got to figure this out. You start off with some piece of shit, you know, what you get at a thrift store or whatever. And then it's like, oh, well, I'll buy this and I'll buy this. And then, oh, there's this pedal or this capo or this whatever. Or, oh, do you mix these together? Or do I have a tube amp or do I have solid state or all these different things you can mix together? It's the same as a print shop. It's like, all right, well, I have all these different variables. How do I put those variables together to make the product that I want to make? And it's the same thing for being a musician. It's like just mixing all that shit together to get what your flavor is and whatever else is. And then the networking part too, like, you know, is like with the band, it's like, all right, well, I know these bands, but then this guy moves to this band and now I know that band. And then I have this connection here. And then I can, not only can I now tour New York State, now I can do, you know, I go to Connecticut and I'll go to, you know, I'll go to Vermont or I'll do whatever. And it's like, it's just because you're meeting people in this like spider tree thing. It's the same with screen printing. And that's why I feel like so many musicians go to this, is because it's the same fucking thing. Like, it's just, we're selling t-shirts instead of getting on stage and having this drama and having this whatever. To me personally, that was the best part, is like when I was in the band, I made the tour, I made the show flyers, I made the merch, I set up everything, I did that whole thing. But then I had to deal with 4 other members of my band being like, well, why are we doing this or this thing or the other thing? And it was like, as soon as I started doing this, I was like, I get to do the same shit I was doing in the band when I was just me. And it, like, these decisions are mine. And like, I get to do this thing. And it was like, all right, cool. I'm just going to continue that journey for the next 20 years now. And I don't know, it fucking rules. Like, I'm so happy that I'm like doing this. And it's, to me, it's kind of that same vein. So it's funny now that you're like discovering that too, of like, well, I have all these connections and I have all this ability and this drive to do this thing. It all just clicks and makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, you have to put in the work. I don't think people realize, I mean, everyone listening to this show probably realizes, but what it takes to make a shirt, like to take it from an idea to art, to a film. I'm still using film, of course. You know, without all the gadgets, it takes a lot. And to be able to make it look good and feel good, and, you know, there's a lot to it. There's chemistry and science and math, and like, it's wild. Just like music, there's math involved, and music, you can write a song and you can't hold a song, dude. Like, you can't look at a song, you hear it. It's this tangible but invisible object that you experience. But you make a shirt, like, you're physically making a piece of art. Like, it's what it is. It's artwork. Like, it's a tangible item. When I see my son wearing one of my shirts, like, I made some Anatomy of a Ghost shirts that went crazy too, and watching him wear my shirt in a band I was in before he was even thought about as a creation, like, is so cool. And he loves it. Like, he loves that Dad made his shirt, you know. It's such like a proud moment. And just I don't want to live a small life, Dylan, and I don't we all want to build something that outlasts us. That's why I build these buildings and whatever else. It's just me. It's a fucking I don't know if it's a man thing, or, you know, my dick's this big and I'm going to show you, you know, like with this fucking skyrise tower or whatever. But the
you
way
know what
it is, like,
you know what I think it is, and I'm not going to speak for you, but like for me, is it was like, I didn't have much growing up. It was like, same as you, like, okay, like, today's another day. What am I going to do? I'm going to get my fucking bike. I'm going to get my Sony, you know, CD player and my fucking 1,000 disc thing in my backpack. And I'm just going to go make my day. Cause like, I have nothing else to do. I'm ride my bike into town. My dad just says, be home by dark, so I know you're still alive. Like, that was my existence. And it was like, I don't have anything. I have maybe $2 in my pocket or nothing. Like, I've done it where I've ridden my bike to town and I found bottles and cans on the side of the road, taken them to the grocery store, put them in the bottle return, got back my $1.50. And then I could go get like a $1 menu burger at McDonald's gas station and then fucking ride my bike home. Like, that was all I had. So it was like, all I knew was, if I want to do something for myself, I have to fucking do it. And then it was like, oh, I kind of sucked at school. I was in a band. I worked at the movie theater. I worked at a pizza place. And I was like, I'm just doing shit for other people at this point. Like that's kind of reminding me that if I want something for myself, I have to do it. So then I was kind of like, all right, I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to do it great. And I want to build this. And then when I finally built something or in the band, like my ideas became a thing that people liked. And I was like, cool, I want to do that with this business or this building or this podcast or this whatever. Is like, I want to do it in a way where I know that it's great and fulfills my life, but it also is meaningful to somebody else, if that makes sense. So Absolutely. I think a lot of it is just because we didn't have anything unless we made it for ourselves. Because I feel like that's the catch-22 that I have is like, I've provided a life for my kids now because I built mine to where they don't have that same struggle that I had when I was a kid. So like my concern for them is like, shit, did I fuck them up? Like, you know what I mean? They're not going to have a drive to be like, I want to work and I want to build this thing. Like they're just kind of like, Dad, I need the new fucking PlayStation or something. And it's like, well, you already have 4 of them. And it's like, Dad's going to get it for him for Christmas or whatever. And it's like, fuck.
Well, dude, we came up at the same time and we raised ourselves. I'm a firm believer in that. Our parents had their own shit going on. We raised ourselves. And that's how we gain those skills, at least the confidence to know that I could at least fucking try this. And I'm going to try it. If I fail, it's because I failed, you know, like there's nothing wrong with that. But to have the tenacity to keep fighting for it, you know what I mean? Like you've got this like, and I've seen your shop on the website and stuff like that. I've never been to your shop, of course, but one of my dreams has always been to just have a spot where it's like either a warehouse or a not even an abandoned place, but like a spot where I could have a couch and some books or whatever, my creative stuff, my amps, my, you know, now screen printing gear, and have a place to just go create, have a fight with the wife, go crash there for a day or two on the couch, like to have this little raft somewhere, this creative raft somewhere in town. And I've had it twice and it was very brief, but I cherished every second I had those spots in the early days, the early 2000s, when I was working for a club that had some spaces and like, this is your practice space. This is part of your payment for production management or whatever. Like, sweet. Overlooking the city. I built a building right in front of it that completely kills the view now. It's so stupid. But like, I always wanted that. That's why I loved having a van, because I had a room anywhere I went. I've always owned a van. Like, yeah, I have a 15 passenger van. And I was like, I was going to sell it. And then I started screen printing. I was like, I'm going to need this fucking thing. Because I have a work truck that I take everywhere. So like,
I mean, a lot of people that listen to this are shop owners and they know the importance of owning a van.
Yeah.
But to people
transport in the rain,
people aren't in the business or whatever, like I always try to fight for the van. I'm like, you don't understand how awesome a van is. Like you could just, if it's empty, you're always that guy who's like, oh, you need help moving? I got a van. You need this? I have a van. I need to run to Lowe's and it's raining. I have a van. You know, I want to go on a tour.
In the rain. I have a van.
I have a van. It's like, dude, the van fucking rules. Like, I don't care who you are. You need at least a secondary vehicle that's a van.
Whoever invented the van, dude, God bless, because I lived in one for years touring. I have one now in front of my house that I blacked out with rattle can black. Just fucking
that's not creepy.
Paint it down, dude. It's awesome. And I actually the back doors I did a second coat on. Didn't read the paint that said wait 24 hours before applying again. And it completely snake skinned the back doors.
That's even cooler.
But not flaking, solid. So it looks like a pair of like snake skin boots. It's fucking awesome. Happy accidents, as we call them. But
my old whole house looks like that, because when this is a stupid story.
My old whole house.
Yeah, well, anyway, I got divorced and I gave that house away. So it's not my house anymore, but it's my house. So anyway, this house, in order for us to get it through like FHA or whatever it was, they have these stupid ass rules where you have to do, there's no chipping paint and all this other stuff. Well, anyway, when we were trying to get this house, it was the middle of winter. It was like fucking negative 10 degrees outside. It was cold as shit. And the guy's like, you have to paint this like now in order to get this. And I'm like, can't we just sign a thing saying we will paint this in the spring when it's like optimal time? They're like, no, it has to be right now. Hired a crew to come out and paint the house. Painted it in the daytime, still fucking cold as shit, literally snowing. They were like painting with a brush, covering all these spots and painting like whole areas. It all froze that night. So like all of that paint didn't fully dry, and it has all of these like basically snowflakes all over it. And then when it actually fully cured, it still all has that snowflake effect. So like almost the whole house has this like spidery snowflake look to it up close, and it's because the paint froze.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's so stupid. It's such a dumb, I hate everything. I say that daily. I hate people. I hate these stupid ass rules. Like, use your fucking head, dude. Like, this is my house. Mm-hmm. Why would I paint it now in January in upstate New York? This is the dumbest thing ever. And it's like, just to check a box that the house was painted. Anyway, that's a first time home buyer. A road I don't want to go down. But anyway, like, I'm proud of you and your creepy snakeskin van.
Fuck you, dude. Thank you. It's got swivel seats in the front that fold back so you can spin around and make it a living room. It's fucking, It's got curtains. It's fucking rad.
No rules.
But yeah, dude, I realized I'm going to need that for the shop, so I'm going to hang on to it. But it's just been sitting there for so long. We were making a camper van out of it for the kids, and we only used it like twice. I'm like, man, okay, I could sell this for probably more than I paid for it at this point. And then I was like, I'm going to keep it for the shop because a couple of the bigger orders come in or whatever. I was like, oh, I can pick these boxes up in the rain and
never get rid of the van ever.
Yeah,
I can live. So I do want to ask you, you kind of got done with the band stuff, and you started real life, and then you decided you wanted to be. You said you were technically a plumber, right?
Or commercial plumber. Yeah,
commercial plumber. Living that life and doing the commercial plumbing, Christina noted that you had some funny stories, which I do want to ask, but like, did band life to commercial plumber, did those mesh at all as far as like, I'm better at this job because of this job kind of thing? And then now that into this? Like,
absolutely. But not how you would imagine. I feel that I am where I am employment wise, running work because I solve problems creatively, not necessarily the most logically. A lot of the guys I work with are mechanics, and I'm not a mechanic. I'm a creative person. So like when they can't figure it out and I step in, then I find an out of the box way to fix things or solve this problem. And I've solved enough of those in those ways that I think it helped me move forward and into a general foreman role I am now, running work. And being able to deal with people, being able to network, being able to talk to the clients, being able to talk to the general contractors and stop situations, that are going south, and be able to like put myself out there and stand in front of a group of people and talk to them every morning and things like that.
Isn't that such a powerful skill? Like, that's something I want to like pass to my kids, is it's like getting out there or knocking on doors or working a register or public speaking in some way. Like, everybody hates it, but I see it now as like me. I grew up with the ticket taker at the movies, like the pizza place, cash register, the band. How many awkward conversations you got to have with a fucking manager or the bartender at a bar that you don't know, and you fucking walk in, you're like, where do we go? What do we do this? What do we whatever? Like, all these awkward conversations I had to put myself into, and then how they play into my business now, where I'm not afraid to pick up the phone. I'm not afraid to walk into a place. I'm not afraid to do all these things. And the people that I kind of am friends with are around. They're like, as soon as someone knocks on the door, they scatter. They're like, I don't want to talk to somebody I don't know. I don't want to deal with this thing. It's like, I feel like it's a superpower that I have and that you have of like, I can achieve this goal, or I can do this thing because I'm not afraid to talk to somebody or make this happen. Or
you're also not afraid to fail.
Right.
And that's the ultimate right there. You're not afraid to fail. No one can take anything from you. No one can tell you who you are and what you're doing. You fucking do it. And you fail, you fail. I've played a show with Portugal the Man for The Bartender, and that's it, in San Francisco. They now have 3 tour buses and 5 semi-trucks, and they employ over 50 people. If we would have given up right then, none of that would have happened. But that bartender didn't give a shit. And they're the same one who told us where to load in and all that stuff. We played for them, and we played hard every time because, fuck it. We're out here. It's a practice, whatever it is. But yeah, you don't be afraid of failure. If you're afraid of failure, you're not going to put yourself out there. And you're going to wonder what if. You put yourself out there and you fail a few times, who fucking cares, man? Like, there's more opportunities. All life is opportunities over and over again. It's just you take it or someone else will. And
well, speaking of that, like, you've been doing the plumbing thing for how long now?
13 years.
13 years. And I mean, obviously you're good at it and you're doing whatever. And are you feeling now this pull of like, well, I found this new thing that lights a spark or whatever that you might want to get into and have it take over your life? Or you're like, well, I'm going to ride out plumbing as long as possible?
Absolutely not. I will, the second that I can take screen printing full time, I'm doing it. We could live anywhere we want. We can do, I mean, like where you're living up in New York, like visiting Dan up in Ballston Lake. It's like, I could live here, dude. This is beautiful. I love this. I'm 2 hours from New York City on the Amtrak. Seasons, like there's not all the hipster tools out here. Like, it's like, just like, it's amazing. Like, it's just, everything's got some history to it. You know, I've been in the Northwest for a long time, but the Northeast, I love it. I loved it touring over there. I always look forward to those tours and just being there. The air smells different. The vibe's different, but we could live in some small town somewhere, which we want to do, and just maybe be the only shop in town that's a physical shop.
I'm in a village,
you know? Yeah.
It's
dude,
900 people
and you own all your stuff. You know, you could, I looked up a house where you live in Whitney Point. And I found a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house for $350,000 on 2 acres.
And that's expensive. My
neighbor's house in Portland, in North Portland, where I live right at a dead end street in the middle of North Portland, $650,000 for a 3-bedroom house, 1 bathroom, no basement, tiny garage, and no yard. And that's like 10 feet from my house.
I don't understand because I've lived here my whole life, but like I know these numbers and whatever. I did move to Atlanta for like a year and a half when I whatever, different part of life. But I bought my old Victorian that's got like fucking 10 bedrooms, multiple bathrooms, whole huge house, paid $90,000 for it.
That's insane.
We put a ton of money into it, like fixing it up because it was an old Victorian, only because we wanted to like modernize the inside and like add insulation and shit in certain rooms. But like, yeah, I bought that house for $90,000 back, big yard, had a barn next to it, like everything you'd ever need. It was $90,000. Guess what? I bought this building I'm in, this old train station. I've told people before, but this entire building that my shop is in, I have 2 rentals. I have put a ton of money into it over the last 15 years, but that it's fully renovated now. Guess what I paid for it when I bought it?
Dude, more than your house.
60,000.
60?
60.
Oh my God. Is this the place? So is that embroidery shop you talk about next in one of your rentals?
She's across the street.
She's across the street. Okay.
Across the street. Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
I bought my first auto for more than I paid for this building.
I was gonna say, you can buy a car for $60,000, a nice car.
I mean, I've put like a fucking $1 million into the place.
Well, sure,
but still, it's like
that you earned.
But that's again, that's like me earning over time and me doing this. Like the entire inside now is renovated. The outside is completely changed in a lot of spots. You know, there's all these other things, commercial, 3-phase, like multiple rentals, whatever. But again, it's like you were saying, like you can do this business for as long as UPS can pull up to your door and deliver or whatever, like you can have a business anywhere. And with anything's on the internet now, my entire business is on the internet. Like I can't survive on local. It would never happen. I have to have all these orders that are in Texas and Florida and whatever. And it's doable. That's the thing with this is that you can do your podcast studio in your shop. You can do your screen printing. You can do your design work. You can do whatever. You can get your family involved. Get your kids involved. Like you can do all of that with a screen printing shop. It's amazing.
This is what I'm talking about. Like this is the second I can do that and work for myself. I'm doing that. Like, and I will bet on myself every time because I won't stop until I get there or I completely fail and I'm homeless. And even then I'll do something else. But like,
I know right now, just from talking to you and knowing a little bit about your story is that it's 100 million % doable for you, because most of the shops that I know that are just starting out or whatever have no connections. They are just like, oh, I was a nurse and I decided to start a screen printing shop, or I was I worked at a bakery or something. And I just started I wanted to do this because of a sports team or whatever the story is. 99% of being successful in this business is being able to have connections. Like everyone always DMs like, how did you get this business? Or how did you get to work with Target? Or how did you whatever? And it's like, it's knowing this person who knows this person who knows this person gets you involved, and then things happen. That's all it is. And you're already set with a million connections. So like all you have to do at some point is start like asking friends like, oh, hey, who's printing this? I'd love to help, or I'd love to get involved in this thing, or I'd love to donate for this thing or whatever. Yeah. And then eventually it's just going to turn into a full-fledged, whatever you want it to be, screen printing shop. So I have no, like, you're going to do it. Yeah, I know you're going to do it, and you're going to do it faster. And Christina made this point too. She wrote in the notes, like you had mentioned your 5-year plan. Yeah. She's like, that's bullshit. 5-year. He's like, he's going to be working full time in screen printing in like 2 years. Like this motherfucker is not waiting 5 years. It's going to be next year. He's going to be in it. It's what it's going to be, and whatever. So
I guess when you do a half an hour pre-interview that goes 2 hours, completely
that's her
genuinely,
specialty, by the way.
Was awesome. But yeah, I thank you for saying that. It means a lot. And like I said, there's so many times. I'm not just
saying that either. Like that it's all it is. Like it's just knowing the next person.
Yeah. Or how to get like there's guys in town here that have like 6 autos, where if I called Taryn and was like, hey, new System of Down merch, throw it my way, I could just contract it for now into them and then just ship the blanks there, pick them up and get them going. I didn't know that was a thing. I was like, holy shit, I could do that. New Deftones merch coming out, whatever. Like, if I had access to that kind of thing and knew how to use that equipment, like it would be balls to the wall, dude. Like, but like I'm enjoying taking the time learning it all. Like I the inks that came with that kit that I bought initially, like I've upgraded to a 4-station 6-color press with the joystick registration. It was used, but I got a really good deal on like $700. And
I used to have that,
dude.
Riley with joystick.
The joystick is weird, but I figured it out. And I figured out with Josh the guy messed with the bolts on the gates, the do not touch bolts. And so I went in there with my laser from work and leveled everything out and have put a lot of work into it. So every time I print a good print on it, I feel good because like I bought this thing because it was a good deal. I didn't look at it very well, but I figured it out. I figured out how to make it work. I phoned a friend, with Josh. Like I phoned a friend on that, and he helped me through that. But then in the end, I had to figure it out and make it work. And now, just things that'll make me faster. I got a drying cab, Vastex dry cab that dries my screen super fast. I'm not waiting overnight. in an hour, I can be printing. Just trying to be more efficient. I got a decent, I got the Vastex D100 dryer as well, which works well for me. If I'm doing, 50 or 100 shirts, no problem. If I get orders bigger than that consistently, I'm going to have to upgrade, but this thing is perfect. It cures water-based. I started doing water-based just because like I'm starting now. I want to know what I like. Give me some water-based ink. So RC sent me with some Matsui, water-based ink, black and white.
You're using Alpha?
Yeah. And I love it. It's awesome. And it's not anywhere near as hard as people make it out to be and try to scare you with it. And I can wash my screen out and do it again. And I have all the 12 bottles of chemicals I don't even need to touch. It's cool and it feels good. But I'm, growing up in the 80s and 90s, those big, boxy, thick ass plastisol prints bring me back to the 90s. And I love it. Even though it doesn't breathe, I love it.
But, it doesn't matter because there's going to be people who want that, and there's people who want water-based feel. There's always going to be the person that wants the other thing. And what I always try to tell everybody is just like get some knowledge in both. Because again, for you with bands, you're going to have so many bands that just want plastisol, especially hardcore bands. They always want the thickest white print possible. Yeah. It's just what it is. Like, don't try to do anything fancy. That's not what they want. They want it to feel heavy. They want it to feel the way it is. If it cracks, cool. It's more metal. Yeah. Like, fucking, it is what it is. So, yeah, man, that's super awesome. I'm so stoked for you to be able to, like, get, because I can tell you have this, like, giddy thing to you of, like, oh, I'm excited to learn the next thing or this thing or that thing, whatever. And it's just, it fucking rules. It's the best part of it is like the growing. And I do miss that like terribly to a degree. Like I'm at a spot now, and not to bum anybody out or anything, but like I've been doing this a long time and the shop's got to where it is now, and it's a business and it runs and it does everything like efficiently and whatever. That's all awesome. But like I do miss those days of like coming to work and getting a fucking circular saw and be like, oh, I got to cut this sheet of plywood because I got to put it over here. Or, oh, we got to move this press over here. Or like you said, like, oh, this manual kind of is fucked up. Like I need to come in and like re-level all the pallets. I feel like that was our excuse all the time for like when something didn't look right. It was like, oh, I got to go through and re-level the pallets. But one thing I found out later, this is a technical whatever, is it's not just about leveling the pallet. It's about leveling the pallet with the screen that comes down. So if you level the pallet but you don't level the arms that come down the screen clamps, then those aren't going to line up together. So it's not that you just want your pallets level, it's that you want everything to be level with each other. And it was just like all these things that I missed, like tweaking and fucking around. And like we used to have this Sprint dryer before we got the nice fancy 3000 split belt, where I literally have an outfit I still have it hanging in my office right now, where like I would put this whole outfit on because I knew I would be crawling inside the dryer. Like, oh, I got to replace the spark plug or the flame rod or something. It was like, oh shit, outfit time. Put the whole thing on, fucking crawl my fat body through a tiny hole, get in there and like replace all these wires and everything else. I kind of miss that shit. You know what I mean? It was like every day was some kind of journey and some kind of whatever. Like in the moment, you're like, fuck, this sucks, whatever. But like, you know what sucks even more is like just sitting at your desk and being like, oh, I'll do the next email. I'll do the next this thing. And it's like, ugh, like I miss the journey of like growing the thing and doing this and doing that. I'm not saying it's over for me. I'm just saying the actual shop and redoing the building and all that stuff. Like I miss redoing the building. I miss like, oh, we got to tear this thing out and like, we're going to redo the whole thing. And then we're going to move this department into here. Like that whole journey is amazing. And like knowing that you're at the start of that kind of is like, I'm jealous. Like, I'm like, fuck, like I want to do the whole thing all over again.
It's all about the journey, dude. You had 100%. Your what the fuck's up Denny's time, and now you got your day sheet that tells you what Denny's you're going to, and you got to say it right because you're pissed off 10,000 people that are there to see you, you know. But you've got like you built this thing that's so beautiful, and like I mean, you're supporting families, you're supporting your own family, like you're
it's big boy time.
Well, you sacrifice that newness and you have that nostalgia, but you sacrifice that to impart that to others. You know, it's a rite of passage, dude. Like it's like you have all this fun and then you have kids and then it's all about them, and like it's kind of the same thing. Like your journey's not over, but that beginning part where it's like a rush and everything's new may be over, but I mean the industry's going to change. You need to morph with that. You keep these people fed and their families fed. I mean, you can sit in your office and look out and be like, dude, like that person has, you know, food tonight because the hard work I put into this, and now they're doing it. You know, I wanted to ask you, like, if you don't mind,
ask me the questions.
Well, I wanted to ask you, like, do you still have a manual press somewhere that you can get on and just press some shirts and get your hands dirty? Like,
the only manuals I have are our live printing setups.
Okay.
And I'll pull it out if I have to. Yes, I do. And that's why I like live printing so much. And that's why I think like you would do really good at that too. And that's what you have. Like my live print setups are a Riley Jr. and a D100. And then all the everything that goes with it. But it's the most fun for me is to be able to go do a live print and then be able to like manually, you know, I'm going to go out and I'm going to mix the inks I want to use. I'm going to make them a certain opacity or viscosity or whatever and take it with me, and then I get to actually like pull a squeegee. And the coolest part is having someone be like, I want this shirt, and you're like, you want to print it yourself? And they're like, what? I can? And then they come back and I'm like, yep, rule number 1, don't drop the squeegee in the ink. And they're like, okay. And then they pull and they do the whole thing, and it's just cool to do that whole process. Like it's fucking awesome. I love doing that. So I get a lot of joy out of that. And it was funny, I went with Bill and we did a live print where I told him, I was like, hey, I'm going to print this time. And like, you can kind of, cause usually it's me up front talking to people and like he's printing and whatever. I ended up just getting on press, and I was doing that with everybody who wanted. I was like, come back. And Bill like kind of pulled me aside later and he's like, dude, it's so awesome to see you like in your element, like just kind of like showing people how to do this. And like, you're excited, they're excited. It's just like more of an experience than just I'm there making money. You know what I mean? It's like actually fun for me to do. So I think I'd like to dive more into that, like in the future. Like I'm looking for an avenue now to push more live printing
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who are doing live activations and all this stuff, and I'm good friends with a lot of those people, and they have amazing, huge companies that do that. But like, they were showing me like realistic numbers, and it's like, okay, there's all of these different facets of this, of like, okay, there's laser engraving, there's embroidery, there's heat pressing, there's whatever. And like heat pressing is like so much of it nowadays. Screen printing was kind of a little bit of a small, like not a little bit of a smaller number, but like a lot less of a number. Like all these other things are more taking off. Screen printing's down here. I kind of just want to say fuck it, and I'll ride that train of like the 20% of screen printing jobs that are live printing, because they're the most fun for me. I could go heat press at an event all day long, and it's cool. Like I like the event and talking to people and whatever, but spinning the press and fucking pulling it down, printing a shirt with squeegee and ink is just way more fun.
It's so like, it's you can get mesmerized by it. Like you can get hypnotized by it. Like and you feel that screen lock into the gate, like, and just locks in, and you're there, and like you got your off contact just right. And there's something so peaceful about completely clearing a screen. Like you're past, and you just see it. It just goes like that. And it's just perfect. Like you didn't even put ink on it yet. And when you pull it up, it's going to look fucking awesome, unless it's a goddamn Comfort Colors shirt and it's all fibrillation like crazy. Which don't talk
about our baby that way,
dude. I will wear it all day long, but I hate printing on them. The fibrillation issues with those are crazy. And the other thing, not to shit on it twice, but to shit on it twice, I don't know what they're doing, but they got shorter, and the seams aren't lining up correctly. Like I'm getting crooked shirts like every 10 shirts. With the Comfort Colors, loading it the same way. It's like something's just a little bit off. The tag's a little off, and then there's no side seams, so it's hard to fucking line those up too. But like the fibrillation is awful. But I feel like they got shorter. I feel like they trimmed an inch, because any of the new ones I've got, I can't wear them. The ones I've printed, like I can't put them on.
I just feel like I'm getting fatter. So dude, like to me, that's the opposite problem.
Maybe that's the case. I don't know, but I love. The ones I have that I've had for a while now, I love them. I wear them every day. I'm wearing. I didn't mean to do this. I matched this Oasis bootleg to my flannel. I didn't even realize it until I got on camera, and I was like, "Oh, I look like a douche." But
Brandon gave me this shirt forever ago. It was just one of those, buddy sends you a shop shirt or whatever, and I don't know it. Out of all the Comfort Colors I have, this shirt fits me the best. Like it's the most like worn in, whatever. Christina calls it bacon neck too, because at a certain point it gets so like it's like wavy and there's chunks missing, and like really on this shirt there's a hole in the front, like in my belly, like a little one, but it's so like sun baked, like you can see where like there's like lighter areas and darker areas and whatever. But like I fucking love this shirt. It's just so broken in. It's like my favorite. Like I'll always go for that shirt in a pile if I have it. And we'll go do these events or something, and like, people bring out their best shirts and their best fucking whatever. And it's like, I'll show up in this ratty ass fucking worn in shirt, because I'm like, nah, dude, this is me. This is this is what I'm wearing. This is what's happening right now. This is me and my comfort.
Yeah. You've earned this, dude. Like that's something like when I listen to the show, or I'll look at pictures or whatever, I just kind of like, not fantasize, but like I'm just like, man, that's so fucking cool to have all this stuff, and like just think about the journey to get there and all like the awful things that have happened, the good things that have happened. But then like I've said, like if I had an office in my shop like you do, I would have a fucking Riley Jr. in there and a fucking D100, and I just every once in a while I get stressed out or whatever, go grab a screen and just print a couple shirts, like just stay grounded, touch grass as it would be for as it were for the screen printer,
Yeah, no, I fully agree with that. I think the only reason why we don't have any of that is because we're just fighting for space in the shop.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, the manual had to go because we want to put another auto in, and now we're trying to sell the auto we have in that spot, so we have a little more space and like whatever. What I should do is I should just set it up in the office. We have a huge office, so like I have more than enough room to just put one over here in the corner and just
put
be
it
like,
in.
Hey, we're gonna print here and there and fuck around and whatever.
Do your morning walk, come in and print a shirt or two, and just fucking touch grass, dude. Like
exactly. That's what
don't ever forget it. That's
morning touching grass.
Print just a 110 screen with just says touch grass, and you print a fucking shop shirt and then fucking throw it out in the rag pile.
I'll just send one to a random person every day, and
with no explanation.
Like, why did I get this touch grass shirt? What the hell is this?
Yeah.
I do want to ask you a little bit more. We talked about it in the beginning is your podcast.
Oh, sure.
What, like, where are you at with it now? Because like for me, I've been doing this now for almost 6 years. I did a version of this podcast before I did Church Show. It was called like Upstate Podcast, where I just wanted to interview other business owners and other shops and whatever. And then ended up doing Church Show with Andy. And then that kind of turned into whatever. And now I'm doing it by myself for the last year. And I'm trying to grow it to the sense of like, I'm like we were talking about earlier, like it's my thing. I'm going to do it to the best of my abilities, regardless of whatever. Like I'm not in it for money. I'm not in it for whatever. I just like sitting down and having this conversation with you, and I'm having a fucking great time just shooting the shit and talking. But it turns into this thing where I can publish it and people get to listen to it, whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like it's doing well. Numbers are the best they've ever been, like all these other things, but like, are you in a kind of a cruising spot now with yours where you're just like, I'm happy to keep doing them as long as I can do them because it's for me and I'm going to get these guests or whatever. But do you have any aspirations of doing, I mean, you said you got signed to a thing. Like, are you trying to do more businessy things with it? Or are you just like, this is for me and it's my radio show and I'm going to just interview someone every week and this is what it is?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Like at this point, like it runs itself. Everything's not automated, but like it's just me. So like I get the guests, I book the guests, I do the recording, I dump it into Adobe Audition, and I shoot it out on Megaphone. And Megaphone's the platform we use, and Megaphone allows what they call dynamic ad insertion. So someone advertises on the show for a month, I can put it in every episode for that month, and then it pulls it back out again at the end of the month. It's pretty damn cool. That connection came through networking just at some of those conventions, the podcast conventions and stuff, getting grandfathered into that. But yeah, it's my therapy. Like it's my connection. That's how I touch grass. Like you know, before screen printing and now screen printing. So my good friend and agent Dave Shapiro passed away in a plane crash a few months back, and he was a huge proponent for the show. And goddamn, I was telling Christina, like I was sitting in a Les Schwab tire center here, getting my work truck had a flat tire. And I was getting it fixed, and I'm looking at the TV, and it's a plane crash in San Diego, and it'd take out like a whole neighborhood. And I was like, Jesus, that's like a movie. And I'm just watching it. And then my phone starts dinging multiple times, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I look down, and it says, Dave, you know, Dave's dead. Like, what? Where? And they're like, plane crash, San Diego. And I'm like, as I'm watching it live on TV, realize what I'm looking at, and it completely destroyed me. And you know, Dan and I were texting back and forth. We were both close with Dave, and I'd known him for 23 years at that point. And I went a long time without putting out an episode after that because I was just broken. Like I was like, I couldn't see the point, and it was like this weird grief and like life's short. You know, do I really want to do this? Do I want to spend time doing this? And I realized, yes, I absolutely should keep doing this, but. I don't think with the amount of it's different than shirts. Like everyone needs a shirt. Like there's lots of people in the world and they all need shirts, but not everyone needs a podcast. Not everyone needs one podcast. Some people transient their way through. So I find that I do it for me. It's automated enough that it's not easy to do, but it's, we go to some dark places on my show, and sometimes it's pretty difficult. And, but that's what's real for me. Like that's what I like because it's real. It's not staged. And so it's important to me, and the audience I've built and have come along on the ride with me, I'll have someone like Chino, for instance, comes on, people lose their goddamn minds. And I'll have like Taylor from Hanson, because Dave's like, hey, I'm friends with the Hanson guys. Would you want to talk to one of them? I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
and then I'll have Jello from the Dead Kennedys, or Danny Trejo, or Kat Von D, or whatever will hit me up and like, hey, can I, talk about this new record? Sure. All the relationships I've built through that are very important as well, and it's provided me a lot of opportunities. So I respect that very much. So yeah, it is just it's for me, and if it never makes another dollar, I'd keep doing it because of what it gives me. The shirt thing gives me that creative spark as well, but it gives me like a tangible thing that I can hold, and it's a different scratch. Like it's the same itch, but it's a different scratch. It feels a little different. And but yeah, the podcast absolutely keep going as long as I can do it.
They will. I feel like, again, like they will mold into each other to a degree because it's the same for, my podcast and my business are the same thing. Like they're the same industry, but like it's the connections you're going to get from that. You know what I mean? Like that's why when people ask me like what an importance and whatever with business, and it's like, yeah, you can learn how to fucking code a screen, you can learn how to do all these things. Anybody can do that from a YouTube video or whatever, but it's like going to these trade show events or going to these seminars or just getting out, like anywhere you travel. Like if I was today to go to Chicago or something, it's like on my itinerary for what I want to do in Chicago is like, okay, I'm gonna go see Lawrence Arms tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to go visit this shop here, or I'm going to visit this place here because I'm in the area. And it's like, oh, I'll go to this shop and I'll learn, oh, cool, they use this one weird cart that you can buy at Harbor Freight that actually does this and whatever, and it's going to make everyone in my shop's life a lot easier. It's all these stupid little things you gather, and that's kind of what the show is for me too, is it's like I could talk to you and I could be like, you know what, I should maybe dive deeper into this thing or this thing or this thing with my shop. And then it just grows you into this other thing, and it gets you out into the wild, touching grass, like you're saying, of like, okay, I have new inspiration now. I have new ways of doing things. I'm not just like in my little weird bubble.
Yeah.
And it's cool to like, whatever. And it's like, I just went to Florida to see Christina and go to Warped Tour. And it was like, we went and visited a shop down there and it was awesome. Their shop ruled. And I was like, hey, this is like, I love how you're doing this. And they asked me some questions and I kind of gave them some tips or whatever. And it was just like, it's so fun. Like, it's not a work thing for me. It's a passion. Like, it's like this is what gets me going thing. And I don't know. I just recommend that to anybody listening or whatever. It's just go visit places. Like you were talking to, like this industry is so like warming, and I mean, there are assholes out there, but like for the most part, most people are pretty like, hey, let's shoot the shit and talk about t-shirts.
Yeah. Everyone wants to offer up their knowledge, and I've not had one and I'm sure I will, but I've had one person say no or get annoyed with questions or anything like that. They're just like, yeah, would you, like, Josh, would you rather do this on FaceTime? It's probably easier. It's like, well, are you willing to do that? He's like, of course. So we'll talk for an hour or so, like about this, and then, oh, here's the little problem, fix it real quick, and then just talk, and talking shirts. Like, it's hilarious just how, I mean, the things you see in your day-to-day life that you don't think about is a shirt. Like, now I see them everywhere. And I'm like, holy shit, that's a nice shirt. And my wife's like, will you stop? Like, just like,
it's a disease.
Yeah.
You have to, it's like, I don't do drugs or alcohol or anything. I'm sure it's like some kind of addiction. Just make sure you don't do that addiction in improper areas. Like, don't be that dad, because I've done it before. This is why I'm warning you. Don't be that dad who's going in and feeling everything in Claire's. Because you just look like the creepy guy in the corner touching all the little kid shirts. It's not cool. Just do it in other stores. Like, don't do that in
stores now. I'll kind of like tug them a little bit and see, like,
yeah, but man, you just look like a guy in the corner, like doing like, oh, what's that? Oh, you're like touching everything and feeling everything. Just don't. I'm just try to avoid it.
If you're in a Claire's, just steal something like everybody else. That's all it is teaches young girls
get your ears pierced and steal some knickknacks
and steal something. Yeah, it doesn't cost them a damn cent, But yeah, it's just one of the most welcoming environments I've ever been in, and that's inspiring to me too, because I'd still fight through it without it, but it's really a valuable thing, and it puts more importance too on the things you've already done. Like, yeah, your journey's where it is, but the legwork you've put in makes you such a valuable person to talk to, and your opinion matters, just as much or more than anybody else's, because you have the mileage with it, that's what's so cool about what you're doing. And you got this world, and you live in a small town, a village, as you say, because technically I guess that is a village, but you get to travel all the time. So you get to come home. Home is where you want it to be, and you can still get out and see the world. You've been to Honduras, you're saying, right? Like, you've been like all sorts of places, but you come home to home.
And I fucking love, and this is just a stupid side note, but it's just like people talk about their like peace or whatever. I'm so glad my home is where it is, because if I just want to shut everything off and have nobody bug me, that's where I am. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here, I can go walk by the lake. Nobody's going to bother me. Nobody's going to whatever. I don't have all these other things. I can go travel to all these places and see these things, which is amazing, but I can just come here and fucking shut it off if I want to. Because there's times in every business, and especially this one, where you're just like, nope, I'm done for today. And you just go walk in the woods. Like, I'm doing this now.
Dude, one cool thing, like with this not being my career yet, I say yet, and I mean that. Very soon. But right now, there's not a lot riding on it that I can't just say, I'm going to try fucking this up real quick. But I started, this is going to be so stupid to people who listen to this that have been doing this a long time, but I just started printing my own boxes, like details, stuff that I can do and spend a little extra time to make shit cool when you get it in the mail. Like a designed and screen printed box, like custom done. I put a little like cardboard flap in the top so you don't cut the people's shirt. The inside flap has a saying on it, so when you open it, it just keeps going, and you keep like finding shit and stickers in there, and with every order, like printed poly mailers, all sorts of little shit like that just mean something to me when I get a package like that. I want to send out the same thing, so I have no problem like fucking around with that kind of shit, taking a whole evening or 2 evenings going through and figuring out how to do that.
And you should never lose that. And that's super meaningful. We have the same thing. We have custom boxes. Funny thing that not a lot of people know about our boxes is it's all doodles, and it's all the things that are meaningful to us and our shop and whatever. There's like 10 hidden dicks in it. Customers sometimes get to find them. There's a bunch of them. There's a genie lamp, and the handle on the genie lamp's a dick. There's a rocket ship that's a dick. There's a bunch of dicks in it. Like, if you really look, you'll find them. Yeah. So that's just for us. That's for, a heartwarming touch from us to you.
Yeah.
But then, you put in like stickers and candy and handwritten notes and like all these other things. Like, you should always do that. It's amazing. Customers love it. It makes a huge
on there.
Oh yeah. For What's Up Denny's fucking, God, I love that show so much. It's so good.
Oh man.
But yeah, I mean, it's that stuff that really matters. And, you were talking about seeing these other shops and, their sizes and whatever. And the biggest advice that I have is just like grow to a point that makes sense, where you're profitable and where life makes sense, and you could still go home at 5 o'clock and stop.
Yeah.
Like, just work on the little things after that. Like, go for the customers you want to go for this. Don't be in this grow mentality, because eventually you're just gonna be like, well, this is just me feeding a beast, and this is a nightmare, and I can't escape it. Just do the 1 to 2 auto thing, 3 auto maybe, and just ride that life is my suggestion. Because every human I talk to, big, small, whatever, is just like, I was the happiest when I was here. And without fail, that's the answer. So it's like, why am I chasing something else then? I should just go for that goal and then be there. So
I just need enough, enough to pay the bills, have some money in the savings, and like my kids are 14 and 12, and so a few more years, and it's just going to be my wife and I, and well, my son is autistic. He'll be with us forever, but he's easy, and in that aspect, that it'll just be the three of us,
right.
We want to get a spot and just have a shop. And I would just love getting up every day, doing things I want to do and not what I have to do, and you can write your own ticket that way. I feel, especially if you are careful, select the right customers, and don't grow beyond what you need, because your profit's going to go down big time. Like, you just get to where it's like, this is my most profitable spot. If I added 2 more autos, then that's more. I have to hire more people,
more headaches.
More people, more workman's comp, more everything.
Wait, is it more money, more problems?
Yeah. That's why I loved you. I loved you, and I'm pointing in your face. That's why I loved you doing the HR and OSHA episodes. That shit's eye opening, because I deal with OSHA all the time in construction and HR, but in the screen printing side, like that Alliance or whatever they're working for, that stuff was cool, man. That talking to those people, those were some of the best episodes.
So you're on the same wavelength as me, and it's funny because like those episodes, in my opinion, were some of the best, because it was real shit that really matters that we should all get into. Like, yeah, it's fun to have funny conversations and do these other things, but there's also conversations that need to be had. Like, there's a bunch of stuff like me and Christina and Chad want to do where it's like, we want to have like a physical therapist on to talk about like the proper way to stand when you're working, or like the
chiropractor,
footwear, or like all these things that matter. Like, yeah, let's do an episode on goofy shit. Let's do an episode on someone who knows what they're doing, and let's do an episode on like taking care of yourself. Or like let's get an accountant on who actually knows what tax codes we should be using, or like what brackets we should be in, or tips and tricks on like all these other things. It's like not every episode has to be just like, oh, someone's story and whatever. It's like, let's mix them in and like stuff that's relevant to all of us in some degree.
Yeah,
so
that shit's awesome.
I agree with you. I'm glad you said that, because those episodes are meaningful to me.
No, you do a great job with picking guests, and like I said, I listen every week. It's one of the few podcasts I listen to every week. I don't listen to many podcasts. Because I just don't have the time, but I always make time to listen.
Well, you're going to get, you're getting a little bit of nuggets for what's
except for next week, I guess, if that's when this comes out. Because I
don't
like listening to ones with myself.
You know what's funny about listening to yourself? Part of this is like Chad is like the behind the scenes partner of all of this, where he does all the editing and puts these things out, and he has fun with it to a degree of like he's the Oz behind the curtain kind of thing. He puts all these things in the episode that I don't even know are there, because I don't go back and listen to my own episodes. Yeah, like I'm just recording with you. I've lived it. People ask me, they're like, "Oh, did you hear?" I'm like, "I did it already." Like, I'm here. I had this conversation. So these episodes come out, and Chad edits them in a way where like. There was one a little while ago where I had a cold, and every time I like went like this, he like added in these weird wheezing noises and like all these other things. And it's like,
heard that.
It's like, I don't fucking know what he's doing.
Yeah, like he's just doing whatever, and I'm like, all right, that's cool. People will be like, oh, I laughed so hard at this one part, and it's like, what? I don't even know. I don't even know what's in there. So, all right, I want to get into some quick takes that are more like personal for you.
All right, dude.
What episodes have you done in your own show that you're the most proud of?
Oh my gosh, there's a lot. A few for a few different reasons. One of them was with Josh Eppard, my buddy from Coed and Cambria. He plays drums in Coed, and him and I was reaching out initially to talk with Claudio, and they're like, well, you can have 20 minutes with Josh. I was like, all right. And then 2.5 hours later, we exchanged numbers after a 2.5 hour episode, having 20 minutes, and became fast friends. And we were going to start a podcast together. And we had it all booked to go to Riot Fest and do all these episodes. And then his mom went into hospice. My dad had a heart surgery scheduled for open heart surgery. And we both were like, I don't think we can do this right now. And so we scrapped it. And my dad ended up dying after that surgery. His mom ended up dying in hospice. And the episode where we got on to talk about that was extremely heavy. It's one of the few times I've cried on the show, talking about the last moments and all these things. It was brutal, but I'm really glad we did it. I'm glad that it's out there. There's an episode with a comedian named Emma Arnold, where she has a dissociative disorder, where she has multiple personalities that she'd only talked about it with me on the first episode we did together. On the second, those personalities started to come out. And in live time, I had to figure out how to talk to these different people, but in a respectful way, and work my way through that episode. And that was incredibly difficult. But I think it came out well. That one was interesting. And then the one with Ross Robinson.
That would be so hard for me.
the one with Ross Robinson, who did all those the Korn records and the Slipknot records and all that stuff. He was like the guy who would throw candles at you and shit to get you to scream louder, and kind of a psychopath. I got hooked up with him, and he and I just locked eyes, and we did this episode that was unreal. And I literally laid on the floor afterwards for about a half an hour and just like contemplating what had just happened. And at the end, he's like, we just made a record. And I'm like, you know what? You're absolutely right. We did. He's like, it's exactly the same thing. We just made a record together. And he told the story of Jonathan Davis doing the Daddy song at the end of the first Korn record, where he started breaking down and crying and all this stuff and screaming and throwing things, and how when it came to the end of the session, they just let the tape roll. like Head from Corn's laughing because he thought he was joking. He wasn't, and he realized he wasn't. You can hear him laughing. But then Jonathan finally gets up and stumbles out of the booth. And as the door of the booth closed, the tape ran out. It was the exact amount to capture that moment in full.
That's awesome.
And he's like, I don't know what kind of powers were on that, like that happening like that, but it has never happened again. And it's just this iconic, awful thing. But, and then, one more episode that this was back when I did video. I don't think it's up anymore, but Kat Von D had reached out through her people to mine and were asking to come on. And I had Kat Von D on. I'm looking at her on the Zoom, and the whole time she had a squirrel crawling all over. She has a pet squirrel. And I managed to go the whole episode without acknowledging the squirrel was there, crawling in her shirt and up her neck and over her head. And we just had this really good conversation. The whole time there's a squirrel crawling, and I'm just straight-faced, focused.
Why didn't you bring it up?
Because it was what we were talking about. It wasn't the right spot. It wasn't the right time to bring that up and be funny, like
that happens to me all the time where like I think of a thing and I'm like, oh, I really want to talk about this thing when he's done talking. And then someone will say something like, yeah, but that's when so-and-so died. And I'm like, fuck, now's not the time to bring up the dick joke I had.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, the Kat Von D and the squirrel was a good one too. There's stories about all of them. I could literally go on for an hour and a half about just the stories of the episodes, but those are the ones that stick out to me right now.
Well, my next question, which might tie into that one, is the guest who surprised you the most.
Oh man,
I have a few where I'm just like, oh, this is someone that has an interesting story, whatever, and then I get into it with them, and I'm like, oh my god, like, yeah, I did not realize you had this like part of your life that turned you this way.
Nate Newton from Converge. We had gone round and round about scheduling, and we had to both cancel like twice. It finally happened, and I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't know about his personality or anything, and I was kind of nervous about it, and like, man, this could be really bad. Because I'd never seen an interview with him before, so I didn't know. I just knew he's like this kind of tough looking dude, and it was so good. Like I was just in heaven the whole time. We were talking about this crazy shit and hilarious shitting stories, and like they all had to shit in a box in like Russia or whatever next to a train going by because the toilet was broken in the venue, and the tour manager brought a box out to a field and a thing of toilet paper, and they all had food poisoning, so they're all taking turns shitting in this box as a train's going by, watching all these hardcore tattooed dudes shitting in a field. He just surprised me big time with just how amazing he is, and he's been on twice, and I love him to death. And but I was truly nervous to talk to him. I had no idea how it was going to go, and that happens every once in a while.
Yeah.
That's one I can think about off the top of my head that really surprised me. Like,
that's
wow,
awesome.
Okay, that was a great. I would have him on anytime.
It's so great how sometimes people do that to you, and like this whole other side of them comes out that you didn't know existed. It's so good. A band you think deserves more attention than they have?
Oh, dude. Well, I would have said that about Steven Wilson Jr., who I absolutely love, and he's blowing up right now. He did the NFL draft, Star Spangled Banner. I met him the other day in Portland. The tour manager brought me back to meet him. We're going to do an episode together soon, but he is, I think, terribly underrated. It's an incredible songwriter, and it's more like country stuff, but like it's so good. The lyrics, the voice, all of it. He was a boxer and a food scientist that just decided to just try his hand at music, and now he's like a Nashville gem. Definitely underrated, for sure. And man, that's a tough question. Aside from that one pops out to me immediately.
I know you'll think of 10 of them when we get done with this.
Probably the second we stop.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. All right, my favorite question. Top 4 favorite movies of all time.
Man, okay, so I'm going to throw one at you here. My favorite movie, and maybe 2 people have heard of this movie when I mention it, but it's called Safe Men. It's with Sam Rockwell and Steve Zahn and Paul Giamatti. That's my favorite movie of all time. We rented it at a movie store in Alaska, and First time we watched it, we hated it. Second time we watched it, became our favorite movie of all time, and it still is to this day. I can quote the whole movie. It's about Sam Rockwell and Steve Zahn are musicians that play at like Jewish halls and like birthday parties and stuff, and they dress, and they're terrible musicians. So there's those two guys, and then there's two guys similar to them that are safecrackers, professional safecrackers. And the Jewish mob sends out their hitman guy, Paul Giamatti, to find the safe men because he needs them to break into some safes. They're always carrying a duffel bag in this bar, and they order slow gin fizz. The safecrackers decide not to go in that night. The two musicians do. He sees they're ordering slow gin fizz and have the bag. Kidnap them, take them to the mob's house, and tell them, hey, you guys are the guys. I need you to break in these safes. So to not get killed, they lie and say they are the safe men. Everything. It's one of the dialogue's amazing. The John Hamburg, dude, you have to watch it twice. The first time you may not like it, but the second time
fucking rules.
Second time rules. It's like the opposite. Was Lemmy say he got 2 blowjobs in one night in succession, and he passed out after the second one. So like, it's kind of similar to that. The first one's probably not great, but the second one's going to blow your mind.
Literally blow you.
I don't know if blowies have been said on this show. I'm sorry. Yeah. So Safe Men, No Country for Old Men.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking. There's like no music in that whole movie. It's fucking
no. It's meant to be that way. Yeah.
The scene where he looks up and it's just his truck with no lights, and he looks back down and looks back again, and there they are standing by the truck. Mm-hmm. Holy shit. There Will Be Blood is the other one, and then Dumb and Dumber, hands down. Dumb and Dumber has to be on that list. I watched that. Honorable mention, Uncle Buck. That's the last movie I watched with my dad, and we watched it every year, and I love that movie. It's not over the top of those other 4, but that one is honorable mention.
It sticks with you because your father. Yeah, I get that.
Did you see that John Candy documentary that just came out?
It's on my list to watch. I do want to watch it.
It's so good, but it's crushing, dude. As a bigger guy, you'll feel it.
Cool.
How he was treated in interviews and things people would ask him, and he just smile through it, but it tore him up, dude. It's rough.
That was very similar with Chris Farley. That whole thing with him doing the Chippendales stuff, as it was like there was a whole thing about that where some of the writers and stuff were just kind of like, dude, they're not laughing like with you, they're laughing at you. Like this is all just fat shaming, basically. And he just kind of leaned into it because he was insecure, and it was what got laughs, and that's what got him where he was. But a lot of that like was soul crushing of like just being a fat guy, and you're like, well, fuck, I guess I have to ride this wave, or I'm not relevant or important. Yeah, his dad died on his 5th birthday, and they still had his party so that it wouldn't screw up his birthday. Shit's fucked up, dude. Like. Can't wait to watch it.
He's a genius, but you'll feel it. You'll feel it. Yeah. So wait till you have a chance to sit there and feel it and just enjoy it. It's good.
Yeah.
He's a good man.
Well, Dewey, I really appreciate this, man. I would love to do another episode sometime, or have you as a guest host. That would rule.
Dude.
So if you're down, I would love to have you.
I'm down.
Hopefully after this episode, you can lay on the floor for half an hour and collect your thoughts and recenter, touch grass.
What up, moms? What the fuck's up, moms? Yeah. No, dude, this is good. I don't know if Christina told you, but so as a podcaster, I notice things when I'm listening to podcasts and things that happen consistently. And I thought this would be hilarious for the Shirt Show merch, because I love when you say, I'm going to be honest and vulnerable right now. And I thought it would honest and vulnerable since whatever, 1996 or whatever, Shirt Show. That would be an amazing shirt.
I would totally wear it. I'll make it a bootleg DTF.
I love it. Yes, absolutely, dude.
We'll make it happen.
Hell yeah, brother. That's awesome.
I'll make one too that says, I think I've told this story before, but because I feel like I do that every episode.
This, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
This package comes with this, that, and the other thing.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, dude. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. Let's keep in touch. I'd love to, see your journey and whatnot. And next time I'm out that way, or next time you're out this way, let's hang out.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good to me, man.
All right, dude. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
See you, man.